You're watching News Channel 5, where the news comes first.
News Channel 5 obtained surveillance pictures of a man wanted in a terrifying overnight robbery at the McDonald's in Eureka. Now police are asking for your help to track him down. It happened around 5 a.m. at the location on Fox Creek Road. That's just down the street from Six Flags. As you'll be able to see from these surveillance pictures, police say he walked in with a gas can and a gun. The suspect then locked employees in a walk-in cooler and made off with cash. We're told no one was physically injured. The suspect was last seen wearing a dark coat and camouflage pants. If you have any information, you're urged to call Eureka Police. Murder charges have been filed against the man accused in the shooting death of a Drury Inn manager. Investigators just released Joseph Bowen's mugshot today. He was arrested in Poplar Bluff after a traffic violation late last night. He's been wanted since Thursday for the death of Scott Knopfel. The 50-year-old was shot and killed after a struggle during an attempted robbery. Police say this is Bowen's on surveillance video before he jumped the counter at the Drury Inn on Hampton and I-44. He is currently awaiting transfer to St. Louis City from Butler County Jail. News Channel 5 is following 3 separate wrecks across the metro area. One of them was deadly. Investigators say 5 vehicles were involved in a fatal wreck in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened near the intersection of Ficey Road and Northwoods Drive around 2:30. At least 1 person was killed, several others hurt. No word yet on what caused that wreck. A semi-truck ended up flipped on its side after another crash in St. Clair County. It happened in the northbound lanes of I-255 on the 64 ramp. The driver was pulled from the truck. No word yet on his condition. No other vehicles were involved. Investigators are working to figure out what caused a 2-car crash on I-55 today. It happened in the southbound lanes just before the 12th Street exit near downtown St. Louis. Both cars appeared to be pretty banged up. We're still working to learn if anyone was hurt in this wreck. It backed up traffic for quite a while this afternoon. All lanes, though, are now open. Well, tomorrow, people all over the nation will honor the legacy of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hundreds of people across the metro area are spending the weekend celebrating early. In Ferguson, 9 U.S. congressmen and women are using Dr. King's inspiration to encourage a new generation to push for change. News Channel 5's Grant Bissell tells us about the message from the Congressional Black Caucus. Grant?
Yeah, Mike, leaders from across the country, including 2 congressmen from here in Missouri, gathered for a church service in Ferguson this morning. Their message was one of solidarity, civic responsibility, and the power of the vote. Now, this was a very diverse gathering at the church today. There were congressmen, there were congregation, there were preachers, and there were also protesters. They all gathered to celebrate the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The Congressional Black Caucus Chairman G.K. Butterfield said the leaders of today can learn from Dr. King. He said his leadership, his bold obstruction to the status quo, embarrassed this nation and forced a change to civil rights laws and voting rights. And they say that that is what they're going to continue to push in Washington, D.C. They are pushing for new legislation that will completely overhaul the criminal justice system and hopefully push for more equality across our country. We'll have much more on this story coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. And now, Mike, we'll send it back to you for more of those celebrations that we saw around the area.
All right, Grant, thanks. A Florissant church is sending a message of peace the day before the Martin Luther King holiday. The congregation at Shalom Church came together this morning to acknowledge local police officers. The church's pastor says today's service was all about aiming to heal the division that exists between police and some members of the community. President Obama delivers his State of the Union address this week. It's already drawing criticism from Republicans on Capitol Hill. The GOP is now in control of both chambers of Congress, but that isn't stopping the president from offering a wish list that includes more spending to help the middle class and poor with a tax increase for the rich. Brian Moore has the story from Washington.
Hi, Mike. The most surprising part of Tuesday's address might well be the lack of surprises. President Obama spent the weekend tweaking a State of the Union address that will be his first to a Capitol controlled by Republicans.
And I'll call on this new Congress to join me in putting aside the political games and finding areas where we agree so we can deliver for the American people.
What the president says is certain to have a familiar ring. He's already unveiled several major talking points in a series of campaign-style show-and-tell events. In Detroit, he talked about ways to build on the economic recovery In Phoenix, ideas to make home ownership more affordable, and in Knoxville, cutting the price of a college education.
Let me give you the theme of the speech in 3 words: middle-class economics.
His proposals share another common theme. They're unlikely to get any support from Republicans. GOP lawmakers are already lining up against the president's plan to increase taxes on the rich by $320 billion over the next decade to help the middle class and poor.
Raising taxes on people that are successful is not going to make people that are struggling more successful.
An address already being debated before the president utters a word. The White House says it's turning toward social media in an effort to reach more people and change more minds. In Washington, Brian Moore, News Channel 5.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to get outside today, you missed out on a beautiful day with temperatures closing in on the 60-degree mark. It's hard to believe we're in the middle of winter, Mike.
It's kind of shocking, Mike. Yesterday we got to 63 degrees. Today we were cooler and still, as you mentioned, closing in on 60 degrees in St. Louis. Areas east where a warm front has yet to arrive, a little bit cooler, but a gorgeous day. A chilly start, sure. We had a low this morning in St. Louis of 37 degrees. Same true in Farmington, Cahokia, and Sparta. St. Charles was cooler than that at 31 degrees, but the normal low is 29. So everybody, chilly as it was this morning, was warmer than the norm. We'll get high clouds tonight ahead of a warm front that lifts to the north and leaves behind a perfect Monday. So MLK Day is looking very good. It does get a little bit cooler on Tuesday. See these clouds? They're telling us there's a warm front that's off to the west of us. It's actually pushing into St. Louis, but you can also just look at the thermometer. Look at the difference it makes. It's 47 degrees right now in Pittsfield. It is 57 degrees in Jeff City. Lake of the Ozarks is 61. Well, this warm front moves on through during the course of the evening, leaves us with some mid and high level cloud cover, especially late this evening and tonight, but also leaves us with evening temperatures in the 40s, Mike. I'll tell you more about MLK Day and the rest of the week in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then, Mike. Still ahead at 6 tonight, a message reaching millions. The reason Pope Francis's latest mass could go down in the history books. Plus, the stand one woman is taking to make sure her voice is heard in church.